My name is Mike Hestron. I'm the Riverside County District Attorney. My job is to seek justice on behalf of the people of Riverside County, protect the public, and reach out to all our communities and build strong and solid relationships. So the Family Justice Center is actually known as the SAFE FJC. And the Family Justice Centers are nonprofit organizations that are led by a separate agency, but they're co-located, so they're housed at the DA's offices, and all three of our DA's offices. So there are 4 locations for SAFE FJC. We've got Temecula, Murrieta, Riverside, and Indio. And the purpose of the FJC and the Family Justice Center model is supposed to be, and is in Riverside County, a one-stop shop for victims of crime. That's the magic of SAFE FJC, and that is the magic of that model. So instead of having to go to the prosecutor's office, go to the social services office, go to a different office to try to get victim compensation, those kinds of things. So it's very victim-centered, and it really focuses our entire prosecution team on the well-being and the healing for victims that needs to take place. When a family is in crisis because of violence, other crimes, there are certain services that are needed that night. Relocation services, resources from housing to medical to emergency treatment, those kinds of things. We have partnerships, and we have ways that we get those resources to the victims, and it's sort of a central location where victims know when their family's in crisis, they can go to one place, and if we don't have the answer, we will find the answer. That first week, for example, they may need a temporary restraining order, they may need emergency housing, but as time goes on, their needs change a little bit, and so that the SAFE FJCs try to take that into account and provide the services that they need. Basically it's short-term, acute services and helping a family that needs a place to stay tonight because they can't go back home, to the longer term, what does this family do? How do we provide safety and shelter for children that have been abused, for families that have been torn apart by violence? Domestic violence is a huge problem in Riverside County, and in most counties in California. Domestic violence, and I think across the nation, it's the most dangerous call for law enforcement officers to respond to. The number of people that get hurt by their domestic partners it's really a national tragedy. And when someone's been victimized, when they're a victim of violent crime, their body's been hurt, been broken. But it's also more than that. Their dignity's been challenged and diminished in some way. And that's what happens to victims of violent crime. A lot of times in the public, we don't talk about that, but there are deep scars that are left in victims that have suffered violence. And so it's our job to get accountability for the perpetrator, the abuser, but it's also our job to immediately reach out and help that victim start that process of healing. That process can oftentimes be a long process, and that's okay. We're going to be there through the whole process.